Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare
Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Sri Prabhupada. One second, all goes to Sri Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Yeah, Sri Radhmati, whenever you're ready, you can start Mati.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Please kindly accept my humble obeisances. Hare Krishna to all the devotees. Is my voice audible?
Yes, Mati.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskrityam Naram Chevam Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirate Nashte Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki. Reading from Bhagavatam today, Canto 3, 22 chapter, verses from 28 through 39. Entitled The Marriage of Kradama Muni and Dehuti. Okay. 1 second. Text 28. Overjoyed to know of his arrival, his subjects came forth from Brahmavarta to greet their returning Lord with songs, prayers, and musical instruments. Text 29 to 30. This is the city of Bharismati, rich in all kinds of wealth, was so called because Lord Vishnu's hair dropped there from his body when he manifested himself as Lord Boar. As he shook his body, this very hair fell and turned into blades of evergreen kusha grass and kasha, another kind of grass used for mats, by means of which the sages worshipped Lord Vishnu after defeating the demons who had interfered with the performance of their sacrifices. Text 31. Manu spread a seat of kusha and kasha and worshipped the Lord, the personality of Godhead, by whose grace he had obtained the rule of the terrestrial globe. Text 32. Having entered the city of Bharismiti, in which he had previously lived, Manu entered his palace, which was filled with an atmosphere that eradicated the three miseries of material existence. Text 33. Emperor Swayambhava Manu enjoyed life with his wife and subjects and fulfilled his desires without being disturbed by unwanted principles contrary to the process of religion. Celestial musics and their wives sang in chorus about the pure reputation of the emperor, and early in the morning every day he used to listen to the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead with a loving heart. Text 34. Thus Swayambhava Manu was a saintly king. Although absorbed in the material happiness, he was not dragged to the lowest grade of life, for he always enjoyed his material happiness in a Krishna-conscious atmosphere. Text 35. Consequently, although his duration of life gradually came to an end, his long life, consisting of a Manavantara era, was not spent in vain, since he ever engaged in hearing, contemplating, writing down, and chanting the pastimes of the Lord. Text 36. He passed this time, which lasted 71 cycles of the 4 ages, 71 times 4,320,000 years, always thinking of Vasudeva and always engaged in matters regarding Vasudeva. Thus he transcended the three destinations. Text 37. Therefore, O Vidur, how can persons completely under the shelter of the Lord Krishna in devotional service be put into miseries pertaining to the body, the mind, and nature, and other men and living creatures? Text 38. In reply to the In reply to questions asked by certain sages, he, Swambhav Manu, out of compassion for all living entities, taught the diverse guard duties of man in general and different varnas and ashramas. The last text of the day, text 39, I have spoken to you of the wonderful character of Swambhav Manu, the original king whose reputation is worthy of description. Please hear as I speak of the flourishing of his daughters Dehuti. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for giving me this opportunity. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta translation of Canto 3, Chapter 22, verses 28 to 39. Vanchakalpatarubhasya kripasindhu evacha patitinam pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna to all devotees. Thank you. Over to you, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Go ahead, Prabhuji. Sundaracala, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you so much, Jai Shri Radhi Mataji, for reading. So today we're going to start verses 28 till 39 from Canto 3 and Chapter 22, Lamentation of Devahuti. So at a glance, third canto, the meeting between Uddhava and Vidura has led to this conversation between Maitreya and Vidura. And Vidura has further inquired upon the second recreation, and during which the topic about Swayambhu Manu and Shatrupa came. And this has led into the chapter 22, where the conversation is further detailed. And this conversation is going to reveal us the glory of Swayambhu Manu, and it is going to also reveal us its glory of Kardama Muni. And let's delve into the text number 29 and 30 today. This is Barihishmati Namapuri. So before I'm going to offer obeisances, my humble obeisances to Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Vaisheshikadadara Adhikari Tinamine Nama Prashashilaya Prabhupada Nindite Urte Dasme Shasapam Jyotine Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauruvani Bacharine Nirvishesha Shunivadi Paschatya Deshatare Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Verse number 29 to 30, chapter 22, canto 3. Lamentation of Devahuti. So Barhishmati, the city of Barhishmati, is a capital city of Swayambhu Manu, and it has all kinds of wealth. Sarva Sampat Samanvita, and they are possessing all kinds of wealth possible. And Lord Vishnu's hair has dropped from his body when he was acting a role of Varahadev. That hair became the auspicious grass called Kusha grass, and it also became Kasha grass. So two types of grasses, very much useful in protecting the is glorified in the Vitanamu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. We cannot hear you.
Can you hear me, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
So these two verses basically describe the city of Barhishmati, the capital city of Swayambhu Manu, and the whereabouts of the opulences. One of the opulences of this capital city is actually came from the hair of the body of Varahadev, and just like main glory of Barhishmati is what is the main glory of of more than opulences that we have in Barishmati? What is the main glory is Lord's hair, something which is a relation with Lord. Similarly, in case of Pandavas, they are considered glorious because of their association with Supreme Lord Krishna. And the so the Manu is definitely glorified because he's a great king, and he's greater than the greatest. Is that he's devoted to Krishna? That is the main point. So Prabhupada ji quotes Yajnarthat Karmano Anyatra, work done only for sacrifice for Vishnu has to be done, otherwise it is entangling. So if one wants to be freed from the reactions of work, he must perform the satisfaction of Vishnu, that is yajna, which is done for satisfaction of Vishnu. So in this Bahirshmati, particular functions were performed by great saintly persons. And we'll discuss further from verse number 31. Manu has spread his seat of kusas and kasa grass and started worshipping the Lord. That's what is described here, right? Ayajad yajna purusham labdha sthanam yato bhuvam. Swayambhu Manu thought that I have attained this rule of this great kingdom by only the mercy of Supreme Lord Vishnu. I am grateful to him, but how do I express that gratefulness? By regularly worshipping him. So Manu is the father of mankind. So he's actually giving us a message. He's giving us a direction. Those who are in a better position, have sufficient wealth in this world, what should they do? They should take lessons from Manu, because we are all Manushya. And that's why we should take lessons from Manu. Anyone who possesses strength, opulence, power, yad vibhuti mat sattvam Srimad Bhujitameva Mama Amsha Tejo Amshas. So Krishna says in that verse,
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, your voice is gone again. Sundaracala Prabhu? Yeah, I don't know if you have a wide headphone or something.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, we can hear you, Prabhu, now.
I'm going to start speaking from the phone. So Yudhishthira Maharaj also tells, and Arjuna returns from the Dwaraka. So we are talking about Swayambhu Manu's glorification. So Yudhishthira Maharaj tells Arjuna when he actually returns from Dwaraka that he was constantly expressing his gratitude for Krishna. That's what we are seeing here also with Swayambhu Manu. What did Arjuna glorify or express? How did he express his gratitude? We have this opulence of kingdom, good wife, and all this is because of Krishna's grace. Arjuna also says, I could win the hand of Draupadi. I could win the warriors in the war field. And I could please the demigods and win over Pasupatasha from Shiva, right? And I could defeat Indra also and Mayadharma also. And all that is possible because of Krishna's grace. So it is the mood of gratitude towards the Supreme Lord. So devotees consider, this is one of the key verses That's why I'm going to be a little elaborative. So devotees consider whatever wealth they have, whatever accomplishment they have, are all because of Krishna's grace. And so Manu is saying, I have achieved all this because of Lord's grace. Labdha sthanam yatho. So that he's acknowledging the Lord's mercy, and that's how he's worshiping the Lord as a thankfulness. And now, even if you see Dhruva Maharaj pastime, he's insulted by Chiriki, and he goes on to the forest and he starts. Before he goes to the forest, he actually goes to the mother, and mother suggests him, if you want to sit on your father's throne, you have to worship Supreme Lord. Only by worshipping Supreme Lord, anyone can get anything. And that's the glory of the Supreme Lord's worship. And Suniti gave examples of grandfather Manu, Swayambhu Manu, and she also says examples of father, the grandfather's father, who is Brahma. So she quotes both the great personalities, and she says she guides actually Dhruva Maharaj. Your great grandfather Brahmaji had attained all success in creative activities of this universe only by worshipping Supreme Lord. And she also says, your father Uttanapad attained, actually your grandfather Manu has attained all the success in life only by worshipping Vishnu. That's how the devotees are also glorifying the gratitude that exalted personalities exhibit. And that's what this incident proves. Everyone is a descendant of Manu, that he's the original person, Manushya, and he's the origin of all the Manushyas in this universe, right? In this planet. So Manushyas are descendants of Manu. So, and we have taken a lot of gifts from him through, the culture that he has spread in this world. And even Swayambhu offered gifts to his daughter at the time of marriage, Devahuti. And human society simply should follow this example when they give their daughter in their, in marriage, how they should find a groom and what should be the considerations to find a nice groom, and what really matters. Is it the money, or is it more than money? We have all learned that from our previous discussion. So today we're going to simply elaborate further on glorification of Swayambhu money and extending to that. So whatever we have, we should be utilizing it for the service of the Lord. And therefore, those who are in possession of valuable facilities, Prabhupada says, must acknowledge their gratefulness to the God by worshipping Him and offering what they have received from this. And Mahajanoyena Gatastapandha. So here Swayambhu Manu is the Mahajan, greatest personality. So we are simply going to follow the footsteps of Manu. So expression of gratitude is a duty of a devotee. In fact, Prabhupada says is the mood of a devotee. Gratitude to Lord is expressed by worship and sacrifice. Gratitude is primary virtue in spiritual life. And so every living entity should be grateful to Supreme Lord and grateful to the representative of Supreme Lord also. And as you can see, even Dhruva Maharaj was worried about, where is my mother who has given me this position? When he was taken into Vaikuntha in the Vaikuntha airplane, he was worried, where is my mother who is the reason why I was motivated to worship Supreme Lord? And he was about to jump from the airplane, and the Vishupasas understand his what is agony that he's undergoing, and they immediately come and inform him, oh dear Dhruva, your mother is also accompanied, and you can see she is also coming to Vaikuntha, and he gets pacified. That is the gratitude of a devotee. And our primary gratitude is for Supreme Lord, and Guru who connects us to him is also very important. We should have a gratitude for him too, and all the devotees who connect us to Supreme Lord. And Prabhupada is very emphatically saying how one should acknowledge Krishna's mercy This is the whole theme of this beautiful purpose. Not only the devotee are grateful to the Lord, Lord is also grateful to the devotee. Lord is grateful to the minute amount of devotional service rendered by devotee. And to the level where Indrajuna Maharaj, when he became an elephant, Gajendra, and he was fighting for his life for thousands of years, what happened? Lord gave elephant the remembrance of prayer that he has memorized in previous life. So the Lord's reminding that prayer to Gajendra is his expression of gratitude. So Lord is also grateful. And quality of gratefulness is actually coming from the Lord to the devotees. In the next verse, text 32, having entered the city of Barishmati, in which he had previously lived, Manu entered his palace, filled with atmosphere that eradicated the three miseries of material existence. So here it is said, the palace was filled with atmosphere that tapatraya vinashanam, eradicated threefold miseries. What is that atmosphere that eradicates threefold miseries in this material world? Atmosphere of Krishna consciousness. Atmosphere of constant glorification of Krishna. And only these can create atmosphere devoid of threefold miseries. Prabhupada purport centered around this actually. Miseries exist for devotee who is in Krishna consciousness, but they do not affect. It's not that threefold miseries are absent in devotee's life, but they become aloof of them. Although they are existing, they don't disturb them. The threefold miseries for devotees, but are there in the devotee's life, but they see them as personally orchestrated by Supreme Lord. He sees the miseries are mercy, so he is aloof from that mercy. That's the mood of a pure devotee. We cannot stop miseries of material atmosphere, but Krishna consciousness is the antiseptic method to protect from the miseries of material existence. And a Krishna conscious person, both the Sarga, Apavarga, both are equal. The hell and heaven, both are equal. Why is it so? It is mentioned by the, it is mentioned, Sarga, Apavarga, Narkeshu in Bhagavatam. Apitulya Darshinaha. Lord Shiva is saying to Mother Parvati, Vargapavarga Narkeshwapi Tulyardha Darshinaha. Narayana Parasarve Nakutaschana Bhidyati Sarkapavarga Narkeshwapi Tulya Darshinaha. So Mother Parvati, when she cursed Chitraketu, my dear son, you become a demon. And material miseries in this world, Chitraketu actually, this is how he responded. And Guna Pravaha Etasmin Ka Shapa Kona Anugraha. Material miseries in this world are like waves. Humbly he responded to Mother Parvati. Material miseries in this world are like waves constantly flowing in this river. What is curse? What is the boon? What is the distress? What is happiness? What is the hell? What is heaven? This is how he responded. And that is the mood of a pure devotee. As you can see here also, Swayambhu Manu. And for someone who is absorbed in Krishna consciousness, serving and hearing about Krishna, this misery is no longer exist. As you can see in Krishna's pastime, there is a wonderful verse in 11th chapter, 58th verse that says, Iti Nandadaya Gopa Krishna Rama Katha Muda Karvanto Ravamanascha Navindam Bhavavedanam. Navindam Bhavavedanam. There are so many demons who attack Bakasur, Bakasur, so many. And go even after Krishna and the whole village moved from Gokulavan to Vrindavan, thinking that is probably going to save Krishna. All the residents of villagers, all the cowherd village, they led by the Nanda Maharaj, they have taken effort. The difficulty of moving out into a different town altogether, and they moved their whole, village that includes the cattle, their families, everything, their possessions, everything. It's a big effort. They never thought like, okay, let's send Krishna out to somewhere else so that we are we don't face this, but never thought about it. All they were thinking is, they were thinking, how would we make sure that Krishna is protected? And they always try to think only in that direction. And as long as they were engaged in Krishna's glory, as it was mentioned here, as long as since they were always constantly discussing about, even after when this Vatsasur attacked, these Gopas came back and said, Nanda Maharaj, and they were nicely discussing how Krishna handled the situation. And that's how they win over Navindam, Bhavavedam. They never went material misery. They have never underwent the material misery. That's how Rajavasis gave. We can understand these examples of to deal the material miseries in our life. Krishna Katha. Next verse, 33. Emperor Swayambhu Manu enjoyed life with his wife and subjects and fulfill his desires without being disturbed by unwanted principles, contrary to the process of religion. As you can see, Swayambhu Manu enjoyed with his subjects, fulfilled his desires without being disturbed by unwanted principles of religion. He has not exhibited any, he has exhibited Yukta Vairagya. He never exhibited any degraded Vairagya. He exhibited Yukta Vairagya. He was very responsible. Devotees do not feel existence of calamities, though they are disturbed by them. Calamities include the urges of senses. So here, Swayambhu Manu has never experienced the agitation of his senses because he was living in a proper Krishna conscious environment. Hurdas Shravanam Hare Katha, every early morning, Prati Usheshu Anubadhena. Every early morning, Anubadhena, being attached, Hrudayam, the Shravanam he was doing, and he was hearing. His heart is attached to the hearing, Harikatha. So as long as that is there, there is no experience of material miseries. Even if that place is not a conducive place where we are as a devotee for spiritual practice also, still a devotee by the dint of sincerity, by remembrance of Krishna, by the dint of sincerity, by remembrance of Krishna, by vigorous practice of Bhakti Yoga, that place cannot influence him at all. That place where a lot of affluence is there around and where there are a lot of material comfort, that could divert us from devotional service. One may get carried away, right? However, devotees who are focused on Krishna consciousness, few devotees, the place of happiness will not disturb them. A place of distress will not disturb them. That's why Swayambhu Manu could still practice Krishna consciousness, though he's surrounded by opulences. He's a king, emperor of the whole world. And Swayambhu Manu lived in the peace and prosperity of Krishna conscious atmosphere. There is a Mangalarati ceremony. Prabhupada gives itinerary of daily, in this purport, day of a Krishna conscious devotee, like Swayambhu Manu. He, starting with Mangalarati, the perfection which he failed to attain, the perfection a devotee failed to attain in his last life is again offered to him in this life. It is offered in this life. And devotee can make himself perfect himself without fail. Even if he is unable to perfect in one's lifetime, still he is given an opportunity to accept another atmosphere to continue his practice. So that he continues the Krishna consciousness. At least human life is guaranteed. There is no diminution. Prabhupada says. Verse 34. So Swayambhu Manu was saintly king. Although absorbed in material happiness, he was not dragged to the lowest grade of life, for he always enjoyed his material happiness in Krishna conscious atmosphere. It's an extension of the previous concept. He was enjoying this material royal comfort. He was also absorbed in Krishna consciousness also. Manu also has experience of material enjoyment, but it did not induce any attachment. He is in the material enjoyment, regulated material enjoyment, but it did not induce any attachment in him. One may experience them, but they may not be attached to them. It could be opulent bed, gem-studded cushions for a king, but he will sit there and he will sitting on the opulent couch will not produce any attachment for those. One may use facilities, should not attach to those facilities. If there is a temptation in heart, I got to experience material facility, one get attached to. So we should stay away from it. That's one way. Here, very exalted devotee, although they experience all facilities, they may not get attached to. Something Parikshit Maharaj also, when was handling responsibilities of his citizens. When a curse came from a Shrungi, the blessing in disguise, he thought, when a curse came, and never thought that it is a great opportunity for me. He actually thought that it is a great opportunity for me to get detached and engage myself purely into Krishna consciousness. The curse is causing indifference to me towards the, towards the worldly enjoyment. This is how he thought, and this is a blessing in disguise. That's what he thought. And Parikshit Maharaj, Swayambhu Manu, so many other devotees are eager to perform devotional service just as formality or as a duty. They may live in the midst of material opulence, but they are just doing it as a formality or as a duty, as a responsible thing. When Krishna consciousness practice is not there. When facility to execute Krishna consciousness is not there. However opulent a place may be, it is not worth residing. So this is actually very important theme, where 5.19.24, Nayatra Vaikunta Kada Sudhapaga Na Sadhavo Bhagavatas Tadashaya. Nayatra Vaikunta Katha Sudhapaga, the place where glories of Vaikunta Katha are not sung. Nectarian rivers of Krishna consciousness is not flowing. Na Sadhavo Bhagavatas Tadashaya, the place where Bhagavatas does not take shelter of that river, the Supreme Lord Lotus feet. Nayatra Yajnesha Makha Mahotsava, the place where the Sankirtan festivals to celebrate Krishna's festivals are celebrated. Such places worth living. The place where Krishna's festivals are constantly celebrated. That place is worth living. But what is mentioned here? Suresha Lokopi Navaisa Sevyatam. If a place is not having any of these three things, where a place of glories of Vaikuntha were there, place where Bhagavatas were there, place where Sankirtan festivals are performed. This is actually such a place which is devoid of these three things is not worth living. That's what this verse explains. What makes a place worth residing is Krishna Katha, devotees association, festivals like Radhastami, Janmashtami, Gaura Punma, like etc., where these things are celebrated. They give opportunity to for devotees to come together. It gives opportunity to novice, new devotees, new people to get into Krishna consciousness by seeing the environment. And just have Krishna Katha, some devotees will be there and occasionally perform some festivals, and this kind of festivals can be done anywhere. So by Prabhupada's grace, we have so many such places, such spots across the entire world, and his followers are still increasing such Krishna conscious environment in the whole globe. It is better to live in the, Prabhupada says it is better to live in an airtight womb of a mother than to come out to a place which is devoid of these three things. So what makes a place full of life is devotee association, centered, and festivals. And Manu has converted his opulent kingdom. Swayambhu Manu has converted his opulent kingdom as a place for Krishna Katha. Krishna consciousness does not stop the material enjoyment. Very important point. Prabhupada says here in this verse. It doesn't stop material enjoyment, but simply regulates the senses from sense enjoyment. It only regulates. And in spite of enjoying the material advantages, they can be liberated in this very life to practicing by practicing the Krishna consciousness through chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So text 35, Ayata Yama in this verse means his time was never lost. He has long duration. And you can remember in one of the verses there it is mentioned, Yata Yama is one of the word mentioned. There says that anything that we eat after 3 hours, after cooking, becomes stale. Krishna says. So here also we see the context. Though he has a long life, Swayambhu Manu never made his life stale by not engaging in Krishna consciousness. He was constantly engaged in Krishna, so he was ever fresh. He has long duration to live. How long? It is said in the next verse actually. 0.435 million multiplied by 71 Divya Yuga. And that is equivalent to, that's a big duration, long duration. Although he lived so long, he did not waste any time nor he felt any boring. Because he was constantly engaged in hearing and contemplating, as you can see, Jayataha. And about who? Vishnu. And he was acting also. And he was speaking also, Bhravataha. And he was engaged in Katha, the topics of Harikatha. As freshly prepared food, as is tasteful, when it becomes Yatayamam, what happens? It becomes stale. Similarly, material enjoyment in this world is like that. Initially, a lot of enjoyment is there. After some time, there will be boredom. I feel bored. So that's why the next day, again, the next day we will feel like doing the same thing. Krishna consciousness is not like that. It is always fresh. It never grows, and it never grows old, and it remains fresh from the beginning to the end. And Ayata Yama Tashyastan in this verse actually means Ayata Yama Tashyastan. This is the concept. The old age did not disturb Swayambhu Mama. His remembrance was fresh of Krishna, though he is very old. Although Manu grew older, as described in this verse, his life remained fresh as beginning. Yapatnaha is as fresh as from the beginning. He continued in Krishna consciousness. So, for entire duration of life, Manu engaged in Krishna consciousness by chanting, hearing, talking about Krishna. Therefore, his life is not wasted. It has never become stale. So, intention and another thing is if the freshness of Krishna consciousness life depends on attitude of the practitioner. If not having the right attitude, the process of bhakti is also boring to him. If he has a nice attitude, enthusiasm, eagerness, nice attitude, enthusiasm, eagerness, the mood is always fresh. Yeyathama prapadyante. That's how Krishna also reciprocates. That principle also works here, almost everywhere. So eagerness with which the practitioner takes process is directly proportional to the experience and relish he has. The intention and eagerness both are there. Motivation should also be correct. So the motivation should be guided by our Sishtastakam, Ahaituki Apratihata. It has to be uninterrupted, and motivation should be correct. How? It has to be unmotivated. It should not have any improper motivation. It should be proper. Motivation should be proper. Then the Yayatma Suprasidati, the satisfaction to the soul comes. Then he will always feel freshness only. There is never boredom. This is the key concept we can derive from this verse. Then, in fact, verse 32, he passed his time, which lasted 71 yuga cycles. That was discussed. And 37, Vidura, how can persons completely So Maitreya is asking, is actually making this statement: how can persons completely under the shelter of Lord Krishna's devotional service be put into miseries pertaining to the body, mind, nature, and other men and living creatures? This is very. This is one of the verses where Prabhupada actually explained what are the threefolded miseries. This verse clearly explains about the threefolded miseries. एतद् ईशानमीशस्य प्रकृत्योस्तोऽपि तद्गुणैः न युज्यते सदात्मस्थैः यथा बुद्धिः तदाश्रयः. This is the divinity of Supreme Personality of Godhead. And though Krishna is engaged in creation, maintenance, and destruction, he is never engaged, really get involved in it directly. Right? Same is the case with pure devotees. Just like the Lord, unaffected by the matter, although he deals with it, devotee is also not affected. And for that, Hari Samshrayan, and this verse is very important. One has to exclusively take shelter of Hari, and one need not be affected by the threefolded miseries that come through the body, mind, and the external factors like a Dev. In this verse, it is explained like Diva, Sharira, which is caused, misery is caused due to mind and one's own body, mind, Manasa, and Divya, caused due to the supernatural influence, Devatas, and also the Manusha, due to the other human beings, Bhautikas, due to the miseries caused due to the other living entities. Chakatham Klesha, these are all kleshas. Bhadante Harisamprayam, Kakatesha. There is no way that this should affect devotees. That's what Maitreya is explaining in this verse. Initial stages there will be miseries, but because of training given in Krishna consciousness, devotees learn how to tolerate those miseries. But in the advanced stages, although miseries exist, devotees need not tolerate them also when they advance further, because they are aloof from it, they are unaffected by it. But until we are in the training phase, we need to have the tolerance practiced through Krishna conscious daily activities. So in the next verse, Sarva Bhuta Hita, 38th verse. Sarva Bhuta Hita Sada. He also taught about Varnas and Ashramas. His teachings were mentioned in this verse. In text 39, so he was, Manu was trying to educate his kingdom and people. And that's what he was discussed. 39 also, Maitreya Muni briefly described about ruling, consciousness, and life of Swayambhu Manu. So it is Adi Rajasya. He was addressed here, Swayambhu Manu. Spoken about the original thing. So Swayambhu Manu is the original thing. That's why he is addressed as Adi Rajasya. Manos Charitam Adbhutam. We know Krishna Katha is wonderful, but devotee Katha is also wonderful. That's why Swayambhu Manu Katha was described by Maitreya. Varnitam Varnayasya. I have described it because it is worth describing, Maitreya Manu is saying. But if you see, I was hearing from another class, Kathaniyoru Karmana. Lord is described as Kathaniyoru Karmana. Here, devotee is described as Varnitam Varnaniyasya. The person who is worth describing about. Kathaniyoru Karmana means Lord whose activities are worth describing about. So here both are glorified in Bhagavatam. Now I will, so Maitreya continues. Now I will speak about his daughter, who is Devahut, who is another exalted devotee. Please hear about her. And this is about Devahut. And now, how the Devahut served her husband. All that is further detailed in the next chapter. And anything that I've spoken beyond my realization, please kindly forgive me. As part of my service, I have to do that. Thank you so much for your patience, dear devotee.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Sri Prabhupada ki jai. Vanchakalpatarubhishya Kripasindhubhya Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namo. Thank you so much.